From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 6, streaming now.
I'm nobody to judge. I'm not the police. Everybody do what they want.
IU is investigating over these images and videos showing a large gathering on double-decker boats in Lake Monroe, why the school is so concerned, and what is now being done. College is in session, but the start of the year is far different than anyone has ever experienced. We take you inside a day at Marian University. We'll show you how things have dramatically changed in just a couple of months. Welcome into the news at 6 on this Labor Day Monday. I'm Amanda Starantino. Right now, we are dealing with scattered thunderstorms, and they are not impacting everyone, but they are out there. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory is here. Kevin, what are you tracking for the rest of the night?
Tracking some downpours, but as you mentioned, they're limited. We have not all benefited from the thunderstorms that developed. Randy Rogers, a longtime weather watcher for us here at WRTV, 7/10 of an inch of rain so far, with some rain still ongoing in Clinton County, just southwest of Frankfort. But from Tipton to Elwood, Alexandria, up to Marion, one downpour area, and then along Interstate 70 east of Indy. We'll get into this a little more. From Tipton, just east of 31, there's the heavy rainfall. Alexandria, Elwood to just south of Marion in Grant County. Some lightning, 30 to 40 mile per hour gusts, as well as torrential rainfall. Notice how from Greenfield to south of Newcastle, all the way to Richmond, we're getting the development here of additional showers and thunderstorms. We're not done yet. Temperatures have been rain-cooled all day. Kokomo 71, 73 in Muncie. If you haven't had rain, you have more warmth. Temperatures in the 80s. 11 o'clock tonight. Thunderstorms still most likely northern half of the state, and that will continue to lift to the north. We wake up with a dry start to your Tuesday. Then it's all about staring at the thermometer. Talk about that more in a second.
These photos and videos posted to social media show large gatherings on boats. This is Friday on Lake Monroe. And tonight, Indiana University is investigating. WRTV's Stephanie Wade finds out why the school is so concerned and what is being done to crack down on gatherings like this.
Health experts, including the state health commissioner, have been concerned about Labor Day weekend, leading to a spike in COVID-19 cases, much like the 4th of July. This after images on social media show large gathering on boats here on Lake Monroe.
Where we go, everybody seems to keep their distance.
But that isn't the case for everyone. These photos shared with WRTV show young people crowded on 3 double-decker rental boats Friday. Indiana University is aware of the situation. Chuck Carney, a spokesperson for Indiana University, says it's not clear if the people on the boats are IU students, but Carney says there will be possible sanctions against students who violate the university's directives on unsafe large gatherings off campus. Those sanctions include suspension or expulsion. Indiana conservation officers are also working with the IU Police Department to mitigate the situation.
I'm nobody to judge. I'm not the police. Everybody do what they want, and I tied up with some people, and I'm not scared. But we wasn't a bunch of us either.
While many boats are out today, people we spoke with say they're keeping their distance from others outside their groups.
Small. We didn't have a big crowd, 7, 8 of us.
Just me and my husband. Kids are back at school, and we're having our own fun.
Stephanie Wade, WRTV.
The Lake Monroe Boat Rental Company released a statement saying in part, quote, "On Friday, we had a group of student-aged renters that violated our COVID-19 policies and attracted the attention of our community. Before the boats went out, we addressed the drivers and renters, letting them know they were not allowed to meet with or tie up to other boats on the water. One of our staff went and checked on the groups midway through the day and reported back that a group of double-deckers were tied up to each other. We acted immediately within the scope of our abilities, and the individuals that were tied up forfeited their deposits and had their remaining 2020 reservations canceled and refunded." Typically, the fall semester for college students is a time to get out and meet new friends, attend events, or even go to football games. But during the pandemic, the start of this school year is much different in order to keep everyone safe. Tonight, our Nicole Griffin is sharing what this new school year has been like so far for students at Marian University in Indianapolis.
Going into week 4 of the fall semester at Marian University,
So it's different, but I'm getting used to it.
students are starting to adjust to the new changes during the pandemic.
So I was expecting to see a lot of people without masks on. Well, that wasn't the case. I show up and everybody has masks on.
I walk by somebody I know and they're like, "Who are you?" And I was like, "I'm Hannah," because they can't recognize people with masks.
Each day before arriving on campus, students have to complete a COVID-19 self-assessment on the Campus Shield app. If they are clear, they receive a 24-hour badge to enter their classes.
Before we get in there, we have to wipe down the desks, wipe down the chairs, obviously have our masks on, and then when we leave, we have to wipe everything down.
Hannah Robinson, who is from Westfield, has been living on campus in an apartment since the pandemic started because her mother is high risk. She only has one in-person class this semester where she's spaced out at least 6 feet from other students.
I definitely am missing a lot more social interactions, but like I said, I'm trying to look at it as a positive way. You know, this is keeping me and people I care about healthy, and even the people I don't know healthy, so it's worth it.
According to the university's COVID-19 dashboard, 34 students have tested positive for COVID-19 this semester. 21 of those students have already been released from isolation. Marian University's president Dan Elsener says there was a lot of work and challenges over the summer as they prepared to reopen, but he says it's important to have students in the classroom.
These are our future educators, healthcare workers, doctors, business leaders, etc. They need to be here. They need to be moving forward. I would say, you know, you asked how often do I say, how are we going to do this, or was I afraid? I'd say every other hour, okay? And then you plow ahead.
The university budgeted $1.5 million to be able to reopen campus and put safety measures in place. And students say the extra effort makes them feel safe.
I do, just because I know Marian's keeping us, they're being super transparent and they're keeping us up to date. And I know they would tell us, like, they wouldn't bring us back if they knew that they couldn't handle it.
After Thanksgiving break, students will not return back to campus until the new semester starts in mid-January. Working for you, Nicole Griffin, WRTV.
The last 2 years, Marian University has invested money into training faculty to be able to plan every course they teach in person and online. This semester, Marian University is offering 5 different ways for students to attend class, including in person, online, remote, hybrid, or high flex. The Indiana State Department of Health reports an additional 596 cases of the coronavirus. That means 100,394 Hoosiers have been diagnosed with COVID-19 since the pandemic began in March. The state confirms 4 additional deaths so far. A total of 3,144 Hoosiers have died with the coronavirus. 1,146,572 people in Indiana have been tested for COVID-19. 8.8% of them tested positive for the virus. Data from the state also shows that 42% of Indiana's ICU beds are available. COVID-19 patients are using 10% of the ICU beds. Non-COVID-19 patients are using about 48% of the beds. And the state is making a distinction when reporting how many people are in the hospital because of COVID-19, showing us confirmed versus suspected cases of the virus. There were 469 confirmed COVID-19 patients in Indiana hospitals as of Sunday. There were another 302 patients who had some symptoms but have not yet tested positive for the coronavirus. That means a total of 771 people are in Indiana hospitals either with COVID-19 or suspected of having the virus. New developments, a federal judge now recommends dismissing criminal charges in the sinking of a duck boat in Missouri that killed several members of an Indianapolis family. ABC News reports the federal judge wrote on Friday that the lake near Branson, Missouri, where the boat went down in 2018, is not considered a navigable waterway under federal law. He says the case should be handled in Missouri State Court instead. ABC News reports a final decision on the case has not been made, and a hearing on the judge's recommendation has not been scheduled. 9 members of the Coleman family from Indianapolis were among those who died in the incident. A family is mourning the loss of a loved one today after a deadly early morning shooting on the north side of Indianapolis. It happened near 38th and Graceland Avenue around 2 this morning. IMPD says 5 people were shot while at a gathering in the area. One man died from his injuries. Another is in critical condition. Police are repeating a message they have said many times this year. Grabbing a gun to solve a conflict is not the answer.
It's very disheartening to our community. It takes a toll on our officers whenever we have to respond where we have multiple people shot. I've said this before, we have to actively come together as a community and learn how to resolve conflict resolution without picking up a handgun and hurting someone.
Police are looking for more information on what led to the shooting. If you know anything, call Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS. You can remain anonymous. Friday marks 19 years since a day no one will ever forget, the September 11th terrorist attacks. American Legion posts across the state have donated $50,000 for a planned expansion of the downtown Indianapolis September 11th Memorial. The Associated Press reports the American Legion will officially present that donation on Friday during an event at the memorial to kick off fundraising efforts for the $450,000 project. The planned expansion of the 9/11 Memorial will allow it to memorialize the more than 5,000 U.S. military service members who have died fighting terrorism in the past 2 decades. But it will also add other features, including an 800-pound piece of Indiana limestone from the Pentagon crash site. Democracy 2020, we are less than 2 months away from the general election, which is coming up on November 3rd. If you have not registered to vote yet, you still have time, but you need to get that done soon. And it's a big election. You will be voting for president between Republican incumbent Donald Trump and Democrat and former Vice President Joe Biden. Here in Indiana, it's the race for governor. Republican incumbent Eric Holcomb is up against Democratic challenger Dr. Woody Myers and Libertarian candidate Donald Rainwater. One of the most watched races in central Indiana is to replace Susan Brooks as 5th District Representative. Victoria Sparks is the Republican candidate. She will go up against Christina Hale, the winner of the Democratic primary. A couple of important reminders. Election Day is November 3rd. Voter registration ends on October 5th. If you need to take part in absentee voting by mail, you should file an application for a ballot immediately. And once you get that ballot, you should fill it out and return it as soon as you can. Covering the State House, Republican State Senator Jim Merritt is leaving the legislature. Merritt says he'll be resigning his seat in November, 2 years before his term is up. He did not give a reason for stepping down. Merritt is the longest-serving current state senator, holding office since 1990. Last year, he ran for mayor of Indianapolis, but lost to Joe Hogsett. Merritt's replacement in the Senate will be chosen by a Marion County Republican Party caucus. It's a bicycle ride with extra meaning. We'll show you what is so special about this event and the larger purpose for those bikes. Changes coming to a couple of Indianapolis streets as well as clubs and bars in Marion County. We'll show you the restrictions that will soon be lifted. Kevin.
Heavy rain and lots of lightning from just southeast of Tipton to south of Marion. That's moving to the east. Other thunderstorms still developing. We'll follow that line and look at the heat ahead coming up.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 6, streaming now.
Welcome back. Today, a big bicycle ride to help spread the love and joy of cycling to kids and adults alike. It's called Nancy's Ride, and it started at Tabernacle Presbyterian Church this morning on 34th Street in Indianapolis, in the heart of the Mapleton Fall Creek neighborhood. Nancy's Ride is an inclusive ride for all cyclists with the goal of raising money for Freewheelin' Community Bikes. Freewheelin' is a group that provides accessible bikes with the aim to teach youth life and leadership skills by improving their physical and mental well-being.
One of the beautiful things about Freewheelin' is it's not just about cycling. Of course, the young people who are participating in the program learn a lot about bicycle mechanics. But it really is it's a program that encourages community spirit.
The chairman of Freewheelin' Community Bikes says he wanted some of the focus today to be on social awareness issues. So he says he took riders to neighborhoods they may not go to otherwise. Tomorrow, 2 popular streets that were closed during the pandemic to allow for customers at businesses and restaurants to socially distance will reopen. Mass Ave downtown and Broad Ripple Avenue will open to vehicle traffic tomorrow. After being open to only pedestrians for months, the Department of Public Works says businesses who are permitted to expand seating into parking spaces may continue to do so, though. Another big change: starting at midnight, bars and clubs in Marion County can reopen with limitations. Mayor Joe Hogsett says they can reopen at 25% capacity indoors and at 50% capacity outdoors. Bar top service will still be closed and no dancing or live entertainment will be allowed. Customers must be seated at tables with no more than 6 people. Everyone is required to wear masks when they are moving around and while not eating or drinking. We are always working to connect you to job opportunities through our Hiring Hoosiers initiative. One of the ways we do that is through the job feed. Kroger will try to fill more than 150 positions with a job fair on the northeast side of Indianapolis this week. It is happening Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Kroger Training Center on Castaway Drive in Indianapolis. According to a press release from the company, Kroger will be hiring for stores in Indianapolis and Hamilton County. You can learn more about this opportunity on hiringhoosiers.com. Prairie Farms is looking for a plant maintenance technician in Anderson. Pay is $22.23 an hour. You would be working second or third shift. You must be able to work in a fast-paced environment. Hoosier Air Transport needs a long-haul semi-truck driver. This is a full-time position. And learn more about these positions and find many other available jobs on the job board at hiringhoosiers.com and on the Hiring Hoosiers Facebook page. Kevin.
Let's go sailing. You got a second? Raise the mast. There's a Hobie Cat. Those things can fly. Eagle Creek, a good place for sailing today. The winds are gusting over 20 miles per hour, so it might be a little too much wind at one point. We had a sailboat there in the 70s and 80s for a while. San Juan 21, if you know you're sailing. Sailing is a lot of work when it's windy, and then when it's not windy at all, you've got a lot of free time. It's rare that you're kind of in between all of that. Let's talk about our rain today. If you haven't had any rain, you're in the majority. Where it has rained, we've had some all-out downpours just to the west of Kokomo, over 2 inches of rain estimated by our radar. Also Tipton area northeast, over an inch. South of Frankfort and Clinton County, just to the west of 421. There are numerous cases here where we've had the heavy downpours. Let's focus on what's happening right now. From Elwood and Alexandria into southern portions of Grant County, a little ball of lightning there with torrential rainfall. These areas just inside Marion County now. We've had a shower just pop up at I-70 and 465, then to Greenfield, and it kind of hops its way all the way into Ohio, a broken line of showers and some isolated thunderstorms. Another little blip here just north of Terre Haute. The idea is we'll continue for the next several hours with these isolated showers and thunderstorms, any one of which could have some gusty winds and heavy downpours. It just won't cover a lot of territory. Cooler where you've had the rain, obviously much warmer where you have not had rain today. Sullivan's at 90, Columbus as well. 11 o'clock tonight, there are showers, thunderstorms. The trend overnight tonight will be for that to lift to the north. Once that happens, it will open the door to warmer temperatures and less rain chances, as we'll get into. The main threat from any of the strong to severe storms, which would be isolated, would be damaging wind. Of course, Storm Shield is a free app for your phone. Any warnings would be sent automatically to your phone. 88 tomorrow, 88 on Wednesday. Temperature as we get to Thursday, we start to cool off. Temperatures tomorrow, a few more clouds in the morning, but in the afternoon, temperatures with sunshine work their way into the upper 80s. These overnight lows in the 60s pretty much through the 7-day planner. Temperatures Friday through early next week, upper 70s to around 80. The chance for thunderstorms is there Saturday and Sunday. If you need rain this evening, my fingers are crossed for you.
Thanks, Kevin. The Colts roster is now in place ahead of the team's season opening game. It's on the road against AFC South foe, the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Colts had to trim its roster to 53 players on Saturday. That meant many players were cut. Some of the big highlights: the Colts kept 3 quarterbacks. They include starter Phillip Rivers, backup Jacoby Brissett, and rookie third-string quarterback Jacob Eason. The team's other QB, Chad Kelly, is on the practice squad. Other areas to note: the team kept all 7 linebackers from its offseason roster, which was a bit of surprise to many experts. Also, the team decided to keep rookie kicker Rodrigo Blankenship, so he will replace Adam Vinatieri. The team cut kicker Chase McLaughlin, who actually kicked for the Colts last year when Vinatieri was hurt. The Colts will take on the Jacksonville Jaguars this upcoming Sunday. It's the start of the Phillip Rivers era for the team. Kickoff is set for 1 p.m. and again, this is a road game. The pandemic will impact Indianapolis Colts home games this season. The team announced plans to host a maximum of 2,500 fans at Lucas Oil Stadium for the home opener on September 20th. The attendance number was determined following discussions with the Marion County Public Health Department and the NFL. The team will meet with local health officials soon to discuss capacity for future games. The Colts are working on a process to address those who already purchased a single game ticket or a 4-game ticket pack that included the game. WRTV News at 6 returns after this. Welcome back. Right now, WRTV is raising money to make sure kids in low-income households have books to read, and that will pay dividends for children for years to come. It's through our If You Give a Child a Book campaign. Please join us in our mission. You can donate now through this Friday, September 11th. To give, just go to WRTV.com/giveabook.
Strongest thunderstorms right now north of Anderson. They will slide into Delaware County into the Muncie area. From Indianapolis east, some additional showers and thunderstorms still building at this hour. We'll see you back here in 1/2 hour.